What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another Heart Over Height episode. Today, we're going to be making predictions for this upcoming season for the 2024-2025 season. So if you do enjoy this content, do me a huge favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment down below on who you think should be the winner of all these categories. So without further ado, let's get right on into this. So I have it broken down by MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and Clutch Player of the Year. And we have pictures of all these players. We're going to just put them in where they belong kind of thing. One player per category. So let's get right on into this. All right, it was going to have like Executive of the Year and Coach of the Year, but I didn't really want to do that just because I prefer to just stick to the player-centric NBA. Typically Coach of the Year goes to just one of the best, most improved teams kind of thing, like Celtics coach winning it, Joe Mazzulla or someone like that. Executive of the Year, same thing, the best kind of built roster. But I just want to stick to the players. So I have this broken up into certain categories. So you could see, like, I'll break it up as I go through the players. But MVP, there's a few, it's kind of in order as we go through the list. So let's just dive right on into this. So Clutch Player of the Year. Clutch Player of the Year, I have 3 possible candidates with one person winning it. My Clutch Player, I actually have 4, sorry. I have Jalen Brunson as one possible candidate. I have Steph Curry. I have De'Aaron Fox. And I have Jaylen Brown. Now, people are thinking, okay, what about Tatum? What about DeMar DeRozan since he's on the Kings? Other players, Luka, Kyrie, somebody like that. I also want to give shout out to other players that have an opportunity to win an award. Someone like Jalen Brunson, I think, has a great shot at winning this award. Because who else is going to take the last shot for their team? Same thing with Steph Curry. De'Aaron Fox is the guy for Sacramento. Yes, I understand DeMar DeRozan is over there. It's similar to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown, both of them have that clutch player attribute for sure, but I've seen it more times than not where Jason Tatum has struggled a little bit in final series, and clutch player, in my opinion, isn't just an award for it's 1 second on the clock who's taking the last shot, but clutch player is the fact that Jaylen Brown took the assignment of guarding Luka and saying, hey, I'm going to do it on both sides of the ball, but focus primarily on the defense. I think that's clutch. A clutch lockdown at the end of the game or something like that is a clutch player for sure. But I understand it's more of an offensive-driven award there. So in my opinion, the first player to win the Clutch Player of the Year award is going to be Jalen Brunson. That's my prediction for the 2024-2025 season. I think with the roster that they have, they're going to be a scary roster to look at. And I think Jalen Brunson's got all the tools he needs to be Clutch Player of the Year. You're going to see kind of a step up for him. All right, so moving on here to Sixth Man of the Year. We do have 4 possible candidates, in my opinion. It is in the bottom right here. It's between Buddy Hield, TJ McConnell, Naz Reid, and Malik Monk. Now, you look at Vegas odds and everything. Buddy Hield's actually pretty far down on the list. It's between pretty much Malik Monk and Naz Reid, the guys who battled for it last year. And TJ McConnell is somebody who he can always kind of be a flyer there. But my Sixth Man of the Year, I think, is going to be Buddy Hield. If I'm a betting man with the odds and everything, I'm taking a flyer on him. I think that his role for Golden State coming off the bench is going to be pretty smart and pretty nice to have that three-point threat coming off the bench for them. You look at what he can do, what he's done before in games and everything, and having zero pressure on him and being able, he fits the idea of the three-point shooting that Golden State always kind of fortes, if you might put. So, you look at somebody like in the past, like a Leandro Barbosa when he was on the Golden State Warriors, or, all these three-point snipers that they've had in the past, he fits that Sixth Man of the Year role. I would say like Curry or Clay, but they're not Sixth Man of the Year. So that's why I left them out. The other guys that have come off the bench for them in the past, the Dario Saric's, the Leandro Barbosas, etc., those guys are what helped bring a lot of success to this roster. So although I do think that Malik has a great shot at winning it, I think that his role is going to be a little smaller this year. So I think that last year would have been the year for him to win it. Naz Reid, Obviously, I think he can win it too. All four of these guys, I believe, could. But I just think that Buddy Hield and the Warriors, he's in the best possible position because there's a lot of talent around Malik Monk. There's a lot of talent around Naz Reid. There's a lot of talent around TJ McConnell. I think that Buddy Hield has the best possible opportunity because right now, at this moment, we expect a jump from somebody like Kuminga. Draymond obviously doing Draymond things. And we know Curry's going to do his things, but they got one solidified star right now in Golden State, and it's Steph Curry. So someone else needs to be able to shoot the ball, and with him running that second unit, he's going to have all the opportunity to win this award. Next up here, we do have Rookie of the Year. Now, I broke it down to 3 players. I think that a lot of this has to do with fit, the position, everything like that. So we have Alex Sarr, who could have possibly been that number 1 overall pick. It ended up being Ricochet, but Alex Sarr is on the Wizards, which they have all the opportunity in the world for him to just pretty much take every shot. Pretty much like Victor Wembanyama with the Spurs last year. You have Reed Shepherd, who tore it up in Summer League. So you think he's got a great opportunity. And then Matas Buzelis, who's going to be playing with some solid players who are probably going to be making some moves to Bulls. So you look, there's a lot of opportunity for him to just kind of come into a system. And if he is anywhere sort of ready, he could be put into the lineup right off the bat and just flourish. So that's why my Rookie of the Year this year between these 3 guys. I would say Ricochet. I just don't think he's ready. I would say someone like Stephon Castle, but there's other players in front of him. I think they're going to take it really slow with him. My Rookie of the Year prediction is Matas Buzelis. Now, Buzelis is somebody that I think he's got all the opportunity in the world. I think he'll fit really well with somebody like Kobe White. I think the pass play between him and Ayo Dosunmu and Kobe White is going to be pretty nice there. And he's just got all the opportunity in the world. I don't think that there's any expectation. What we did see out of Alex Sarr in Summer League was not great. And we saw the exact opposite with Reed Shepherd. It was phenomenal. Reed Shepherd, there's just a lot of people in front of him too. So that's why I don't think that he's going to win it. I think Matas Buzelis has a great shot at it. Would I be surprised if these other 2 did, if one of them won the award? No, of course not. I put them up here as candidates for a reason. I also don't want to just give the same exact every single platform that you watch a video on, ESPN or some sort of podcast or whatever, we're all giving the same answers. I want to give somebody different. Same thing with like 6th Man of the Year or Clutch Player of the Year, something like that. I want to give different answers than, let's say Clutch Player of the Year, De'Aaron Fox. He's won it, before, everything like that. 6th Man of the Year, Malik Monk. Rookie of the Year, the guy that should have been the number 1 overall pick. No. I want to do something different, give you guys a different perspective and a different outlook on the game. That's why we've come to Most Improved Player. Most Improved Player, I've got a few players here that are interesting. And it is, we have Andrew Nembhard here, we have Scoot Henderson, and we have Jonathan Kuminga. Now, I think the obvious answer is Jonathan Kuminga. I think that's what everyone's going to say. We expect a huge leap from him coming into this season. But I'm going to go a different route here. I still believe that Scoot Henderson can do something on the court. I think that he is a very solid, he can have very solid play here for the Portland Trailblazers with zero expectation. They are going to be a team that they're going to be making moves. They have 3 centers on their roster: DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams, Donovan Clingan. Donovan Clingan being their rookie, they're obviously going to try and get him on the court at some point. Then they have 3 guards: Shaedon Sharpe, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons. I think that they're going to be pretty active near the trade deadline and even maybe before the trade deadline. So that leaves opportunity for Scoot because I don't think that they're going to move off Scoot because of his previous seasons. They weren't super great. So that means his jump for Most Improved Player can be better. Andrew Nembhard took a slight jump there. And then Jonathan Kuminga, we already saw a flash. So I think that it's open for Scoot Henderson to win Most Improved Player. So next up here, we have DPOY, and it's boiled down to 3 players. It's Giannis, it's Vic, and it's Bam Adebayo. And I feel bad for Bam Adebayo because he plays in an era where he has to now play behind Giannis and Vic for DPOY. This is the obvious answer, This is the only answer I have here that is very obvious. And it is DPOY Victor Wembanyama. I don't think anyone else can have this, honestly. I think Vic is going to be blocking shots left and right. I think, yeah, he's going to get steals. He's going to get blocks because people are still adjusting to how he plays and realizing how long his arms are and how much floor he can cover and everything. So they think, oh, I could do this against Kristaps Porzingis. He's very similar. So let me just shoot this three. Oh, it got blocked, etc. Like he was doing that all last year. And I think he'll continue doing it. And he'll win that DPOI. Last but not least, we have the MVP award. The most important award here. We have a couple candidates here. Shai, obvious candidate. Luka, obvious candidate. Tatum, decently obvious candidate. And Giannis, an obvious candidate. I think that it boils down to two players for me, in my opinion. Now, you might see this Celtics sign and think that it's biased or whatever, but I think it boils down to the two guys that made the finals last year. Boils down to Luka, and it boils down to Jason Tatum. So, no disrespect to Shai or to Giannis, but I think Giannis won it in the past, and I think his roster is at its weakest point right now because they're so old. I don't think that they're going to be that exciting to watch this year. I don't think that they're going to have as much success because the East is so good. In the West, the Thunder, they have the opportunity. I think that this would be the year for Shai to carve away for next season's MVP candidate season. So it boils down to Tatum and Luka. Luka and the Mavericks, in my opinion, don't feel as good of a roster as they did last year. I don't like the Klay signing. I'm not a huge advocate for it. I am somebody that I thought that it was kind of like at the end of the career for the player. He's trying one last team or a few last teams, and it's just not going to work out. Should have stayed a lifer for Golden State, right? I understand why he left and everything, but just even the number choosing, it just all looks whack. Like 31, I don't know. Then Luka is obviously going to have a stellar season. He always has. He always will. So why Luka could win it is because the Mavericks just go out and explode. The only problem is they haven't necessarily shown us during the regular season that they can be a top 3 team in the West, right? They've been top 5. They've been top 7. They always struggle a little bit there in the regular season. You lost one of your defensive key players as well. But what I will say is why Jason Tatum deserves this MVP award over anyone and why I think he will win it is because I think he's a dark horse MVP candidate because he's going to go out this year and show everyone why the hate was not deserved. LeBron in his first 2 seasons, in his first 2 finals had piss poor performances. Tatum, same thing. We look at, he has all the hate and everything, and I think that this year he's going to go out and he's going to shit on people. I think he's going to go out and absolutely tear it up. Jason Tatum is going to carve his name into the NBA history books this season because he is going to say, hey, you guys were talking all this shit about me. Here's what I can really do. And with that, I think that Jason Tatum will win the MVP season, will win the MVP award, and the Celtics will repeat champs this season. So if you do enjoy this content, do me a huge favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment down below what you agree with, what you disagree with. Let's have a conversation in the comments down below. Again, it's Tatum MVP, DPOI Victor Wembanyama, Most Improved Player Scoot Henderson, Rookie of the Year Matas Buzelis, Sixth Man of the Year Buddy Hield, and Clutch Player of the Year Jalen Brunson. So without further ado, it's been another Heart Over Height episode, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.